Hi, we're here with Jason Weiss, one of our NetBackup technical experts, to talk about a very powerful technology called VMware Intelligent Policies, and today specifically resource limits. Is that right, Jason?
That's correct. Yeah, thanks, Bill.
Off you go.
So NetBackup, we've got an exciting feature that's called VMware Intelligent Policies, or VIP. So there's two actual components of VIP. The first one is called Query Builder, and the second one's called Resource Limits. So these work hand in hand. They're coupled together to make sure that the VMware environment is effectively backed up. You can control the VM sprawl of VMs that get added or deleted from the environment, so to make sure that they're being included or excluded from the backup policies. So VIP resource limits, it's very, very easy to implement. Where it's located is in the master server host properties. So if you're familiar with that in the administration console, you double click there and there'll be a resource limits, and I'll talk about some of these different settings. The design behind the VIP resource limits is really to maximize performance and resources. So things like load balancing, the backups across multiple different media servers, the resource limits come into play, and I'll talk about that in more detail. So what we've got illustrated here is the VMware environment, ESX servers, a couple of virtual machines with data stores. So the NetBackup master server communicates across the LAN to the VMware vCenter server and the ESX server to gather the metadata associated with the backup job. More importantly, the NetBackup master server will actually communicate with the vCenter or ESX servers, so you provide the credentials into NetBackup and ensure that the VMware environment can be discovered and automatically backed up. So what I'm representing here is the local area network, and then you might have a fiber channel or storage area network environment as well. So VIP, there's a couple different settings. I won't go through all of them, and we have some documentation that outlines what resource limits are designed for. But most importantly, transport modes. So as you're doing these backups, whether it's LAN or NBD, network block device-based backups, or SAN transport, where you're backing across SAN or fiber channel, it's really making sure that those virtual machines that reside on those data stores are effectively backed up. So there's some settings in resource limits pertaining to transport modes. Snapshot operations. So as NetBackup is taking a snapshot of those virtual machines or multiple virtual machines, there's some parameters associated with snapshot operations. More importantly, cluster or data store settings. So if you want to control the number of simultaneous operations when it comes to the cluster or data store, there's some settings that apply there. So if you're backing up these virtual machines to either disk or dedupe, you can back it up to here, and then you can migrate it off leveraging storage lifecycle policies. So you can replicate those backup images either to tape, it might be offsite, maybe an alternate device. So storage lifecycle policies is a great way. The last point I really want to hit home about the resource limits is there's no magical setting. So there's what's called a sweet spot, and that's where it depends upon the environment, the number of VMs, the number of simultaneous backup operations. It does require some adjusting or throttling to make sure what the settings are right. So my advice to you as a customer is play with the resource limits. It's very, very easy to implement in the master server host properties, and you might have to adjust or throttle up or down some of the settings to find what the optimal setting is for you in your backup environment when it comes to protecting your VMware infrastructure. So just to recap, storage lifecycle policies with resource limits is a great way to effectively back up your VMware infrastructure.
Right, thanks, Jason. So clearly powerful automation to help customers overcome performance and scalability challenges for VMware backups.
Yes.
Very cool stuff. Thank you very much.